Donovan Solano comes through again.
Out of here!
What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Humm Baby Baseball channel. And today we're talking San Francisco Giants 2020 preliminary preview with SF Bay Area Sports Talk. The Giants looking forward to some winning baseball in 2020.
You already know, you guys, man. We are out here. We're going to be breaking this down for you and giving our best analysis and thoughts on this. So cannot wait. Let's get right into this.
So let's just kick it off with catcher. Obviously, Buster Posey is going to be the starter. You did a whole video on him for the channel. And they got Tyler Heineman as a possible backup, Rob Brantley, Chadwick Trump. What do you think of some of the backups competing for that job on the 26-man roster?
Well, let's see. I really like what I've seen from Rob Brantley, the little bit of action. And as we know, he was involved in that Clayton Kershaw drama, which was funny. They beat him on, fastball, like in the hip area or something. But yeah, I mean, the backup catcher position, it's kind of hard to see. I haven't really heard a lot of these guys' names, kind of some of them a little bit older veterans. But, I think what we've seen, they're very good in terms of play calling and how they work with the pitchers on the staff, obviously having to learn a lot of new pitchers on this staff. But really, this battle, I think, is kind of up in the grab. I don't think anyone's really kind of gotten like a complete grab of this backup catcher spot. And Aramis Garcia, man, dude, that was just the biggest blow. I mean, I was so excited to see like where he was gonna go this season, because what really impressed me with him is, because I think he really would have been the backup catcher if he was healthy this spring, is he hit an opposite field home run. I believe it was the 2018 season that he got called up, but he hit an opposite field home run at Petco Park. And as we know, that's just a pitcher-friendly ballpark. And to go oppo in that type of ballpark, I think it shows the type of power and drive that he can get in his hits through the baseball. This backup catcher position, it's going to be really interesting. Hard to say who is going to get that spot right now, but it's really up for grabs.
Yeah, I don't know who's going to get it either. I was thinking Tyler Heineman was my prediction, but yeah, Rob Brantley is looking pretty good as well. No one has really torn it up yet, well, except obviously Joey Bart, and we got to talk about Joey Bart. What a spring he has been having, or had been having until it got cut off. Hopefully, obviously, we're assuming we're going to resume baseball, but Joey Bart, he has looked awesome.
Dude, Joey Bart, oh my gosh. Like, what I think is probably going to happen, I think he's just going to tear it up in AAA when, the season gets going. And he's really going to be forcing the Giants' hand. I think maybe July or August, we might see him get called up, because, it's going to be like when we brought up Posey, hopefully, in the 2010 season. Because Posey, we brought him up and, we went on that amazing run in July. So,
yeah.
That would be insane if something like that happened. But best case scenario, I think Bart tears it up this year in AAA, and, he'll probably be starting every day by next season for sure.
Absolutely. That's what I'm thinking, because that guy's awesome. Yeah, I hope that, remember, like you said, Posey got called up, and then they went on to win the World Series. I'm not saying that's going to happen, but, that's so.
And, Bart's just, it's crazy, because he's got all this pressure, I think, in the sense of, you would think that being a number 2 overall draft pick and, being in some ways compared to Posey, or being the heir apparent to Posey, he's really just taken all this in stride and not allowed it to affect how he plays his game. And, I think you just love to see that out of a guy that's so young. He's like 21 years old right now. And he just acts like a veteran beyond his years, and the way he carries himself out there. And yeah, we've seen the explosiveness too from him in spring training, when he got ejected from a game. And yeah, you just love to see that from a guy that just wants to get better and better. And, he's taking it in stride, man. It's awesome.
And then over at first base, we got obviously Brandon Belt. So we could talk about Brandon Belt and what kind of season you expect. Obviously, been waiting a long time for him to have that breakthrough year, and I don't know if it's ever really happened for Brandon Belt.
Yeah, man. It's just been unfortunate. As we know, Belt, like every year, there's some kind of freak injury that happens, like, getting beamed on the hand, or, having his appendix removed in the middle of the season, and just like, Yeah, the concussions. I mean, we can go on and on with the setbacks, but it's great this spring. We've seen Brandon Belt emerge and have a really great spring. He looks great out there, and I know he's determined to prove what he can really bring to the table. Because I mean, I think he does have that potential to be like a 25 home run guy that can drive in 70 to 80 to 90 runs in a season, and I really think this could be the year. But again, it's just all gonna come down to his health. That also mentions all the veterans. It seems like a lot of them are having great springs. Like Brandon Crawford, Posey. We've seen him. Pence continuing this awesome spring. Man, it's really been a resurgence because all this talk like, oh, these veterans they don't got nothing left in the gas tank. I mean, I think they're showing right now that don't write us off into the sunset just yet. Like, we still got a lot to show you guys, and that's just really exciting.
That would be great if he could finally have that breakthrough year. I'm starting to wonder if it's ever going to happen. But we do have a couple of first basemen that are doing awesome this spring. That is Darren Ruff as well as Zach Green. They're going to find themselves playing a lot of first base this year, maybe more than Belt will.
Dude, one of the other. Totally right, man. Darren Ruff, wow, he just has burst upon the scene this spring. And give him a lot of credit going over to the South Korean Baseball League and, really trying to figure out his swing, get back to doing what he knows best out there. And I think he hit 86 home runs across 3 seasons and was able to hit 300. So having not been in the majors since 2016, he's had one of the best, hottest springs in camp with the Giants. Had one game he hit 2 home runs, had another game he had 3 doubles. And yeah, it just gets better and better, and he's feeling great with the bat. I'm just seeing a lot of confidence from him, and he's 33 years old now, but he's kind of shown me and proven enough that give this guy a crack on the roster. And what you said is totally true, because if we're looking at Brandon Belt's at bats and Darren Ruff's at bats, trying to decide who do we want to start right now, I think Darren Ruff has proven in camp we got to give him an extended look, like a month or 2 months starting to kind of see what he could do. But yeah, it's going to be intriguing. And then let's get to Zach Green too. What's amazing about him is that the power we've seen this spring. And yeah, he's got 3 home runs in camp. He hit a home run in one game that just cleared the batter's eye in center field. And I think he hit it 486 feet. So this is absolutely awesome. Wow.
Yeah.
And he's also very versatile. The Giants we've seen him at third base, and he can play some first base, I believe. So Farhan Zaidi likes to get every player as versatile as they can be, and still very young at 25 years old. And I don't know, if you ask me, I would want to put Zach Green and Darren Ruff on the roster, but it's will the Giants even have room to accommodate both of those guys? And all the other names that we haven't got to yet, but it's just man, there's a lot of decisions to be made. And I mean, these are good problems.
The infield, they got a ton of guys with, they brought over Yo Sanchez and Wong. I think Wong already got cut, but how do you see the infield shaping up, between Dubon and Yomer Sanchez and Flores? And I don't even know what it's going to look like.
Yeah, that's really intriguing. I think the Giants are going to go with Wilmer Flores majority of the time, starting at second base. He is a terrific, versatile player, having played over 150-plus games, I think, at first, second, shortstop, and third base. And, he was a gnat to the Giants last year with the Diamondbacks, and we know what he's capable of doing. So if you ask me, I've been, saying over and over that I want to see Mauricio Dubon start every day. It appears the Giants are going to be giving him a lot of starts, giving him a really big look in center field. And he's a very great athlete to be able to do that. But yeah, Flores, I think, you start him every day at second. I think he's going to have a great season for us, because I do think the Giants are leaning that way. And, I think they'll still be able to find a way to get Dubon a lot of starts in. And to get to Yomer Sanchez, he just got off to a really horrible start. I think he was at one point 0 for 13. And so thankfully the last week or so before spring training shut down, he was starting to pick it up with the bat, starting to get that average of and we know how great he is with the glove, having won a Gold Glove in the American League with the White Sox. But yeah, right now, due to the slow start in spring that he had, it's kind of hard for me to see right now him being on that 26-man roster, unless he just really surprises us. But yeah, I mean, with the right now with baseball being suspended, it's kind of hard to say what's going to happen. I mean, are we just going to roll into the regular season and at that point just kind of get everyone adjusted to timing as we go on?
Yeah, I don't know how they're going to do it, but it's going to be crazy. But it's just assuming that they pick it up in May or something. I don't. It didn't like the Sanchez deal really that much anyway. But because I mean, we have Donovan Solano, which we don't want to forget about because that guy is awesome. Yeah, I want him to be in that lineup pretty much every day. So guy hits 330. I mean, what do you want?
Right, like Donovan Solano. Yeah, I'm totally with you, Eric, dude. I think he should be starting every day, if you ask me. Because Solano, he hit 330 last year. He was clutch. I remember he had that walk-off in the 16th inning, how exciting that was. And he had a lot of great moments for us last year. And, I just love what I've seen. He's putting in a lot of work. He's a veteran out there. He knows he's been through the trenches. And I think you really got to give him an everyday look right now because – just look at the production, and he's picked up right where he left off from last year, having a terrific swing year. And yeah, I mean, it could be interesting because could he get some stuff at third base? But we got Evan Longoria over there, who I think has looked pretty good and seems determined to have a really great year this year. It's going to be tough to see how's Solano going to get all these starts because then you got Dubon getting starts and potentially Zach
he can
Green,
be a guy just to give people a day off. One day start him at second, then start him at short, then start him at third. I don't know how, but you got to figure it out because you need him in the lineup.
Dude, you're right, man. Yeah, they'll figure it out. I definitely know because when you start evaluating these players, you see what they can do. You got to give them their opportunities and let them, be who they are and let them perform to their capability.
And then, we got Crawford at short. Longoria, you mentioned, is going to be a third. So a couple of veterans. Hopefully they have some nice years. Out in the outfield, obviously Hunter Pence is back, which is insane. Just by the way, I was watching the 2014 World Series yesterday just for fun. I had it, and like the whole lineup is the same lineup. I'm like, are you kidding me? It's like the entire lineup was still pretty much filled with the Giants, except for a couple exceptions. Like Pence, Crawford, Belt, Posey. I'm like, dang.
And then Sandoval also thrown in there, man.
Sandoval. I'm like, what? I was like, what year is this, man? We still got the same team. But what do you think of Hunter Pence? How he's looking?
Oh man, dude, I just get so excited seeing what Hunter Pence. It's awesome. Like people really thought he was done, and his last year. Prior with the Giants, 2018, it was a really struggle. I think he had hit like 220, but he wasn't healthy that year. Was injured mostly, and he tried to play through it early in the season, I think. And man, I just love that he went to winter ball and completely revamped his swing. And man, it's just completely been a revelation. He went to the Texas Rangers last year, and he had did have some injuries, but overall in like 80 plus games, I mean, he had 18 home runs with 56 RBIs and then also hit 296. And I mean, you project those numbers out over a full season, you're talking about him hitting possibly 30 home runs and driving in 100 RBIs. And man, like for a guy that's 36 years old, possibly to be putting up those types of numbers, I mean, I think Pence, he's done it in the past, and I think why not have a season like that again? I think if he can stay healthy this year, I think you will see him put up some big numbers. I don't think we'll see him start every day, though. I think you'll see him probably start about 90 to 100 games on the year. And, I think I'm expecting a probably great season, 25 homers, 70 to 80 RBIs. I think he'll put up in, man, it's just so exciting. He just puts in so much preparation, and that's what you love. Because at the end of the day, you can live with the results, whether positive or negative, if you put in the work to prepare yourself
Yep.
accordingly, you know?
Yeah, so I expect Pence to be out there, and Alex Dickerson I'm a little worried about because I think he's a little injury prone.
Yeah, Dickerson, he's very intriguing. You know, last year, I feel like he really ignited a big part of that spark plug in July that we went on. And that was just a phenomenal run. And, you know, I just have great memories from the 2019 season from, you know, when we were getting really close there to being playoff contention. And, yeah, I mean, when Dickerson went down with the injury last year, that was when things kind of started to go downhill with the Giants a little bit. That energy we had was missing. And, yeah, you're right. You know, he seems a little injury prone, but hopefully he can, you know, stay healthy. I think he's had back problems, and I don't think he's had concussion issues there. But, yeah, I mean, we'll see how he does. But I think it was great to bring him back because I think he came back like spending $3 million or something to bring him back. So, you know, right now you have everything to gain, nothing to lose with him out there.
Yeah, and of course Yastrzemski last year. What a surprise that was.
Oh man, dude, yeah, Yastrzemski, what a season it was. And you know what's great about him is that he's 29 years old, so really it's never too late to burst upon the scene and break out. And it's like, man, what did the Orioles not see in him to, you know, just like, yeah, let him walk like that? Because we picked him up, and when he came over to us, man, he tore it up in AAA, got the call up at the end of May. And crazy because he missed, like, you know, the first 45 games, obviously, of the season. And he still ended up leading the Giants in homers. And I think he led him in RBIs, too, as he had 21 home runs and, like, 59 RBIs, something like that. And he hit 272, I think it was. But, man, just really impressed with Yastrzemski. And also, he was a great defensive outfielder, could cover a lot of ground, great athlete. And he had the memorable, amazing story at Fenway Park. That was probably one of the best moments of the season. Seeing him hit an absolute bomb at Fenway Park, you know, where his grandfather played all those years. I mean, that's just those kind of stories. You love those stories in baseball, and just makes you want to root for the guy that much more. And yeah, he's come out terrific spring this year. He's ready to go. You know, I can't wait to see what we're going to get from Yastrzemski in his second season, you know.
Billy Hamilton, Steven Duggar, Jalen Davis. Who else do you see backup outfielders making the team this year?
See, I think Billy Hamilton, I definitely think he's got a great shot because, you know, he's really had a great career, just absolute phenomenal speed. And, I mean, he's been a gnat in the Giants here. I think he stole 5 bases in a game against the Giants. So, you know, we've seen all too much, you know, the type of danger he can impose. So, yeah, Hamilton, he's started to pick it up with the bat. I think he's hitting like 270, something like that, or in spring. But I think he will make the team. I think he's just, you know, there's too much success here to just let him go. And I think Jalen Davis, man, I would love to see him make the team. But being that he's still really young and, you know, we saw him for about a month last year, I think it's probably best to have him start the year in AAA and just continue to get everyday at-bats and build himself. Also, it'll be intriguing, you know, is Austin Slater, he's another guy, like, will he be on the roster, or, you know, will he start in AAA as well? So, yeah, there's a lot of intriguing things that could happen.
Yeah, I mean, the offensively, they got just a lot of people have to have big years, you know, and that's what has to happen for this team, you know, because Posey, Belt, Longoria, a lot of veterans, Crawford, those guys can't just have down years.
Or even mediocre years, right? I mean,
yeah.
The Giants have a great year. We're going to need a little bit above average, mediocre years from those guys. And, you know, that's going to be huge.
Well, and of course, we haven't even talked about pitching because, I mean, that's what wins games. And if we're looking at the rotation, same thing applies. You know, Johnny Cueto needs a bounce back year. Samardzija needs to have, which he was pretty good last year. He needs to have a big year. So, I mean, I have it right here, by the way. Cueto, Samardzija, Gozman, Smyly, and then we don't know who the 5th guy is going to be because Tyler Beatty's injured. So, what do you think of the rotation?
Yeah, I mean, I'm kind of liking the rotation. I mean, for what it is, it's obviously heavily veteran favored there. And, you know, we'll start breaking it down. But with Cueto, you know, I've been seeing him put in a lot of hard work. I think the Giants, they post out They have these like mic'd up features they do, and you see Cueto really putting in the work in the weight room, and you see him on his Instagram doing all these insane workouts. And so I think he's ready for a big bounce back year. I think his last start in spring he had was a rough one, but other than that, he's looked terrific. Now, Jeff Samardzija, yeah, you're right, man. He bounced back strong last year. And as we know, he went through his, several injuries, and that's going to be huge. I think Samardzija is going to build off of the success he had last year, where he went 181 innings. I think he had a 3.70 ERA. So, man, for a veteran that's coming back from injury, that was a great season. And, he still believes he can be that 200-inning guy. And I think, we'll see that from him hopefully this year. And that will save the bullpen, a lot of the Giants' young arms there. And then to go to the next guy, Kevin Gozman, we brought him in, Farham Zaidi did. It's pretty intriguing with him, hopefully he has a great year. But the Giants could try to trade him at the deadline like we did Drew Pomeranz last year. And when we got Dubon, a starting elite level prospect there. So, yeah, I mean, it'll be intriguing to see how he does. He, like a lot of other guys, has gone through injuries, Gozman, and he's looked really good in spring so far. So I'm hoping that's a sign of good things to come. And Drew Smyly, another veteran, again, you can kind of say a lot of the same with him. He's gone through injuries, has looked really good in spring, a lefty out of the rotation. And, yeah, I mean, I like what I've seen from him this camp. It's really hard to project out that just saying, yeah, each of these veterans is going to have a great year. But even if, like, half of them or even 2 or 3 of these guys have great years, and, that's going to really be a huge boost to the Giants. And, yeah, that 5th rotation spot, man, I was super bummed with Tyler Beede going down. I definitely had him making the rotation, and I definitely think he has that capability to be, a number 1, number 2 guy in the rotation. Obviously mixing 4 pitches. He's got great off-speed pitches. His fastball velocity went up. He was throwing 98 miles per hour this year. And, Logan Webb's another guy that kind of impressed a little bit last year. I think he's still got a lot to work on down in AAA. And then Andrew Suarez, he's another guy that's worked on. I think they've had him throwing a 4-seam fastball now. So he's primarily thrown a 2-seam fastball in his career. So great to try to get him throw, different grips on the pitches that he can throw. And yeah.
Yeah, and another guy who was looking really good in spring training was Trevor Cahill. He's kind of a veteran, but, he could be a 5th guy in the rotation as a right-hander, and maybe they can, switch around with Suarez as the lefty. But Trevor Cahill was looking really good in spring training as well.
Yeah, definitely, you're right. Trevor Cahill has impressed. I think he had that 1 start in spring. I think he didn't even give up a base runner, but had like 5 strikeouts in 3 innings. And, they said that his stuff just looked really crisp out there. And, yeah, you make a good point. He could, with Beede going down, he could get that 5th and final spot. And, I mean, if he did, man, it would be crazy to have an entire starting rotation, like all veterans. That'd just be really interesting there.
Especially for a team that's supposed to be kind of rebuilding to have nothing but veterans. But
yeah, right. That's the exact opposite of what you would want it to be.
And who's the Giants? Who's going to be the closer for the Giants? I don't even know. We don't have one.
Yeah.
So we got Trevor Watson. Excuse me, not Trevor. I'm sorry. Tony Watson.
Tony Watson.
Trevor Gott. Yeah. Sean Anderson. Wandy Peralta. Sam Coonrod. Tyler Rogers. Danny Jimenez, the Rule 5 guy from the Blue Jays. Andrew Suarez could spend some time in the bullpen. Harleen Garcia was a waiver claim from the Marlins. Nick Vincent is in camp. Reyes Moronta is on the injured list. He would probably be the closer. But Moronta is hurt. So
yeah, you're right. There really is like no guy that really stands out to be the closer. There is one guy. I mean, Sean Anderson did close games in college, but he's really struggled this spring, and I don't think I will put him in like a high leverage situation like that until he figures out kind of what's going wrong this spring. But yeah, he would be a great candidate there, and he's got great stuff, great stuff that can be closer stuff in the bullpen. And the Giants still, I mean, they don't know what they're going to do with Anderson. Like, is he going to be anchor in the rotation, or, will they primarily use him out of the bullpen? So, they're trying to figure out where he's best suited. But yeah, I think I would like to see him get a chance to close games. And
yeah, I completely agree. I've talked about that before. And he kind of looks like a closer. I don't know why. It kind of looks like an intimidating type who can throw hard and nasty out there. I don't know. He kind of reminds me of I don't know. It just looks like a closer. Looks like a guy who could come out of the bullpen, at least a setup man or something.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, it's going to be fun, man, to see him bounce back, because I know I mean, if you see the spring numbers, like, he's given up 9 runs, I think, in 2 2/3 innings. So it's been a rough ride, but the good thing is right now, only where to go now is up. So, he's going to be fine.
And Danny Jimenez is not, ready to be a closer, but he could throw over 100 miles an hour, and if he makes the team, he could be someone to look for in the future as somebody who can, become a closer.
Yeah, definitely. He's really an intriguing arm, and I think the Rule 5 draft definitely adds some uniqueness to this, because the Giants, if they see the potential value he could bring, they're not going to want to let that slip from them, and so they might do whatever it takes necessary to keep him on the roster a year. And I think from there, you can see how he pitches out of the bullpen. And if he does really well, then you can kind of move into higher leverage situations. So, yeah, I think Danny Jimenez and Sean Anderson, those are 2 great names that could be the closer. And, a lot of other young guys we can potentially see pitch that 9th inning. Just to see who's going to step up,
Yeah, and Trevor Gott is a pretty good arm. He's had a couple of nice seasons, at least, or last year with the Giants. I think that was his first year last year, but he was pretty good.
Yeah, Trevor Gott's really impressed. He's great. He can be like a long man out there. He can pitch, high leverage situations. I think he could be a closer too. He can throw strikes, doesn't walk a lot of people. He puts the pressure on the batter and, makes them swing the bat. And, those are the great qualities you've got to have as a closer. You can't be intimidated out there. You got to be able to step into the game, get that first strike to calm your nerves, to get you, going there and just shut the door down as, elite big league closers do. They're not intimidated by nothing. They can get in there. You put them in tight jam, bases loaded, whatever. They're able to suppress their nerves, live in the moment, and produce, their body responds accordingly.
Yeah, and so that's pretty much the entire team. And, it's just like we said earlier, like not everybody, but I'd say, 80% of these guys just they can't have mediocre or rough years. They have to have, really nice years. And then, it would be a pretty nice team. I'm not saying they're going to be able to compete with the Dodgers necessarily, but
yeah, you're right, man. Evan Longoria even said it that, a lot of people are going to be surprised at the things that this Giants team can do. And, what you said is so true. If we're going to have, any chance to really be in the playoff hunt, kind of like how we were last year, as deep as August 24th, we were still in the playoff hunt last year. It's going to really take all of these guys, having those types of years. And, the Dodgers, unfortunately, just are in a whole nother category of their own.
They good, yeah.
I mean, I guess the one good thing, hopefully, is that if they meet a team like the Yankees, I know the Yankees are stacked this year, that might be a good battle. And hopefully somebody doesn't let them get that World Series, man. But either way, we've got 8 World Series titles. Dodgers have 6 right now. They still got to win 2 to catch up to us. So right now, we won't worry about that.
We're fine when it comes to that. Not to mention, we got 3 in recent times. They ought to go back to 1988.
And, who knows? Maybe the pressure could get to them. They're obviously every year it's like World Series or bust. And, you keep telling yourself that it might kind of find it hard to get up for regular season games. So, yeah, I mean, I don't think that will happen, though. I think they'll, probably have a great year. And, I think the Giants are going to win some of those games over the course of the season. We will beat them, but I think, the Giants always seem to play the Dodgers tough. Like, it doesn't matter how bad we are. Like, we somehow find a way to go, like, 9-9 against them. And, like, they could be a better. how we're doing on this team, but it just brings some type of energy when we play them. And, the fans, I think, have a lot to do with that, bringing that beat LA energy out there, man. So, yeah, it's going to be an interesting year for the Giants. I think right now our best hope is that we get a year like we saw last year where, again, nobody had us going anywhere. And to be in the playoff hunt that deep into the season, and again, we definitely almost made it there, and we had a lot of surprise contributions from guys last year, and it's going to take more of that this year to kind of be in the playoff hunt. But either way, Zaidi, he's doing everything fabulous right now, because he's setting us up to have a sustainable winner for years and decades to come. Obviously the Giants have a lot of money owed to a lot of veterans that's coming off the books. Belt's got a big contract, Crawford, Posey, Longoria. I mean, that's just like so much money that has got to come off the table. And, I think that was one of the reasons that he didn't sign Bumgarner, for $85 million over 5 years, is because he didn't want to have that much money owed to somebody across that amount of time. And again, he probably felt like he could figure things out and use that money accordingly. So yeah, I totally understood that move. It was tough to see Bum go, but it's, you understand for the long-term outlook of, do you want to win as many World Series as possible? And I think, we're setting ourselves up nicely to be, competing year in and year out. And that's going to be a lot of fun.
Heck yeah, man.
It's going to be a fun year. I can't wait to see what's going to happen.
Sick. Yeah, we're going to have to do some more of these. We're going to, as the season gets closer, we'll do another one of these. And because this is just kind of a preliminary. We don't even know what's going on right now because of the delay. So, there's still moves to be made and roster moves to be made. But
okay.
So that's so that's it. That's our San Francisco Giants preliminary look right now at the team, and looking pretty good. Really excited about what we're seeing in spring training. So go check out SF Bay Area Sports Talk, because he's covering the Giants in detail. And hopefully we'll have baseball back really soon. So appreciate you coming on and talking Giants today.
Man, dude, thank you so much, Eric, man. I appreciate it. I love all of you guys out there, and hopefully we're talking Giants baseball, and we are back soon. So thanks for checking out the Humm Baby Baseball channel, and we'll see you guys next time.
All right. Let's go, Giants. See ya.